What is a logarithm? This is the second video in a two-part series on logarithms. I also have a video on functions, which will be very relevant for this video. The first question I want to ask is, are logarithms only about rewriting equations? Most math teachers in math books, when they introduce logarithms as equations to be rewritten. For instance, they'll say, take the equation log base 2 of 8 equals 3. That can be rewritten as 8 equals 2 cubed. This is a true statement that you can rewrite this equation as this one. They also might say, oh, log base 10 of 100 equals 2. That can be rewritten as 100 equals 10 squared. This also is a true statement that we can rewrite it that way. Log base 9 of a ninth equaling -1, that can be rewritten as 1/9 equals 9 to the -1. While all of these three ways of rewriting the equations on the left to the equations on the right, well, these are true statements. My claim is this is not really what logarithms are about. Logarithms are not primarily about rewriting equations. Okay, so if they're not about rewriting equations, what are they about? Well, first let me say you don't even need an equation to use a logarithm. What a logarithm is a function. A function takes as input something and it produces an output. A logarithm takes as input some number. So you start with a number and then you can take the logarithm of a number. The logarithm outputs the exponent. So let me say this again. A logarithm takes as input a positive number and it outputs the exponent of that number. So you can view it this way. You start with any positive number and you put it inside the log function, and the output of the log function is the exponent of the number you started with. A logarithm of a number is its exponent relative to some base. Let's do some examples. We can compute log base 2 of 2 to the 8. Log base 2 of 2 to the 8 is just what the exponent is. It's 8. And sure, we can write this equals 8. But this thing right here on the left is just a number. This is a number, this is a number, these are expressions. No need for an equation to use a logarithm. So let's ask, what is log base 9 of a ninth? Well, in other words, what is the exponent of 9? Well, the exponent here is -1 because 9 to the -1 does equal a ninth. If you're not sure why 9 to the -1 equals a ninth, you should check out my video on exponents. Okay, so let's do this question. So what's the exponent of 1,000 when you're using 10 as the base? The exponent is 3. So a logarithm of a number is also a number. Logarithm itself is a function. You start with a positive number, and the log tells you what the exponent of that number is. If you like those explanations, you should check out my book, Understand Math, Reasons for the Rules. In this book, I explain many of the rules people learn in math in middle school and high school. I explain why the rules are what they are. Most of the rules aren't arbitrary at all. A few of the rules I explain in the book are rules about logarithms. I explain the product to sum rule. I also explain this exponent rule, why you can take an exponent and move it out in front of the logarithm if the exponent is applied to an input. And I also explain the change of base formula. These are just a few topics in the book I wrote. Thank you for watching.